I grew up in Los Angeles, and there was one holiday season where I felt impressed to go and feed the homeless. This was, I don't think I'd ever done that before, but it was just something that was really strong within me. And so I met up with a friend of mine, and we went to Smart and Final and got a bunch of containers. We bought some chicken, some beans, some vegetables, and some drinks, and we went to feed the homeless in Skid Row. Well, I hadn't really spent much time there, and it can be a pretty intimidating place. But as we were giving out the meals, we actually saw people who had received meals go out and tell other people about where to get these meals. And as we also had the opportunity to pray for some of the people who were there. And in turn, we actually got prayed for by some of the people that were living there as well. And that was a very unexpected blessing. I think it's the realization that people are people wherever you go, and that even somebody who you perceive as someone who doesn't have a lot actually has a lot to give in unexpected ways. And I personally was blessed by the prayers of those homeless people on Skid Row, because I thought I was giving, but in reality I was receiving far more than I was giving. I used to volunteer at the New Orleans Mission, and I used to volunteer there on the weekends when I lived there, and I worked with the kids in the Melpomene Project, and I also served meals. And I remember a time when the kids from the projects came in, and they actually wanted to serve meals as well. I think the kids saw us actually serving and giving out meals, and they saw how that blessed other people as well, and they had experienced hunger themselves, and so for them to be able to feed another when they had experienced that themselves, they wanted to be able to bless others. They wanted to be able to give to others, and they wanted to be able to serve. They had a heart of love and a heart of service. It didn't matter where they came from, but I think in our hearts, God's put that in each of our hearts, to be able to reflect who He is, to be able to reflect His heart. And anybody who has a relationship with Him, or anybody just in general, I think God has just put in humans this heart to want to give and to serve. When I was in college, I didn't have a car, and I remember getting back into the car one time with a friend and realized that she had gotten a parking ticket, and it was one of those meters, and in Berkeley they're pretty relentless with the parking meters. So because I walked a lot when I was in college, I would always pass by all these parking meters and these cars, and what I started doing was I would just keep quarters in my pocket just to put them into the meters whenever I saw an expired meter. And that was just one small way to kind of bless somebody. I also work in the field of education, so there's always ways to serve the community. Just before school started, the principal and I realized that there was an area on the field where the kids would be hurt if they ran into those areas, and so it was a Sunday, and we went out to Home Depot to get those metal stakes to fence off the area. It's not in our job description, and we certainly weren't expected to work on a Sunday, but we did it because we knew that it would be in the best interest of our students. I think you can be a reckless servant when you are in close relationship with God, because the love that God lavishes on us, you can't help but just give because of what you've received.